Brace yourself. The second heat wave of July starts today in the Denver metro. We're set up to potentially break several record highs across Denver, including one that's 135 years old. Bad for fire conditions today. In Jefferson County, the Twin Forks fire is burning near US 285 and North Turkey Creek Road. 285 was closed in both directions for a while this afternoon. All of the southbound lanes have since reopened within the last hour, and one northbound lane has reopened. Ground crews were going door to door, telling people to evacuate their homes along South Turkey Creek Road to 285. Ultimately, 5 homes were evacuated. No expectation tonight of any more evacuations. Flames have burned a little more than 6 acres right now, and we have a crew working to gather more information from firefighters. We'll keep you updated on this story as we learn more. Let's now bring in Lauren Robinson, because you are talking about heat, dry conditions, and potentially some record breakers.
That's right. We're going to see all of those coming up in the next week or so. We are also watching for some very isolated showers and storms across the far eastern plains. I warned you of these yesterday, and now we're starting to see those come to fruition. We've also estimated that the strongest storms were likely to fall outside of Colorado, in Nebraska and Kansas. So we do have a severe thunderstorm warning in far northwestern Kansas there. But then as we zoom in to the northeastern corner of Colorado, we are seeing one of these storms start to push their way toward the Panhandle. This is very isolated, very localized, but what we are seeing is going to be an area of heavy downpours just northeast of Haxton. We're also maybe looking for some hail signatures here, a couple of lightning and thunder strikes, some gusty winds. Now, coming up in my full 7-day forecast, we're going to talk about our evening tonight. It's going to be pretty calm and mild with a little breeze here and there. Tomorrow, we're going to see that extreme heat really start to settle in for a few days. And as we go into next weekend, we have sunny and seasonal weather ahead. I'll have all of those details for you coming up.
Lauren, thank you. 2 shootings in less than 2 days sent 4 people to the hospital this weekend. 2 of the victims had serious injuries, and both of these things happened in Aurora. Police investigators are still trying to sort out what all happened this weekend. Kevin Vaughn from our 9 News Investigates team's been following this today. Kevin, 2 of these victims were young people, juveniles.
Jenny, they were, and this continues a worrisome trend in Aurora, where shootings involving young people have been rising for 4 years. The trouble started about 12:10 a.m. Saturday.
We had reports that at least one party shot in the leg.
Gunfire in the 800 block of South Naples Way.
Our phones are blowing up. We've got multiple people calling in saying they're still shooting.
Police and paramedics encountered a chaotic scene.
He's uncooperative and won't let anybody get near him to apply pressure to stop the bleeding.
Aurora police say a large gathering at a home moved into the street, where an argument broke out. Then someone started shooting. A short time later, a second juvenile showed up at a hospital with serious gunshot wounds. Police took one juvenile into custody because he had a gun, but it's not yet clear whether he was involved in the shooting. Then, about 4:40 this morning, more confusion at an apartment building in the 1500 block of North Nome Street.
Sounds like it's going to be a stabbing as well as a shooting.
It turned out that no one was stabbed, but 2 people suffered gunshot wounds.
GSW victim on the 4th floor.
A second shooting victim turned up as police searched the building.
I got another gunshot victim. PD's dragging to you.
And the 2 people who were shot weren't the only ones hurt. One man suffered a broken ankle in the incident. It's not clear at this point how that happened, as the investigations of both cases are in their early stages. The latest available statistics suggest the total number of shootings in Aurora this year is roughly what it was in 2023. But of particular concern are shootings involving young people, which jumped from 19 in 2020 to 53 last year. We don't have complete numbers for 2024 yet, but we know so far this year that at least 3 juveniles have been killed in shootings in the city. That's 2 behind the total number of deaths all of last year, and the same number who died in both 2021 and 2022. In the studio, Kevin Vaughn, 9 News.
Thank you, Kevin. 1 person has died, and several others are hurt after a 6-car crash on I-25 in Douglas County today. State Patrol says this happened in the northbound lanes near Larkspur just before 12:30 this afternoon, and crews had to shut down the interstate while they investigated. The interstate is now reopened just minutes ago. The person who was killed, their identity will be released at a later time, and CSP is still investigating what exactly led up to that crash. 2 people went to the hospital this morning after 2 cars went through a guardrail along I-70 in Clear Creek County. Both lanes of I-70 and Loveland Pass were closed for a couple hours while crews were out recovering those cars. Those lanes have since reopened. CSP says troopers were called out to the area around 6:15 this morning. where there was a report of a rollover crash involving 2 cars in the area of Loveland Pass. As of tonight, it's not clear how serious those people's injuries are. The cause of the crash is still under investigation. This weekend, the state ran several DUI checkpoints, and tonight we're getting a look at just how many people they busted. Authorities set up checkpoints on South Sheridan in Lakewood, on North Wadsworth in Arvada, and another one on Park Avenue West in Denver. This was all on Friday night. In all, they tell us they stopped 656 cars, they evaluated 38 drivers, and police tell us 14 people were arrested for DUI, either for drugs or alcohol. There was a water main break leading to a 12-foot sinkhole in Centennial today. Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office posted some pictures online, said this happened just before 12:15 this afternoon on East Hinsdale Place, and water was shooting into the air about 15 feet. This is in a neighborhood. The intersection of East Hinsdale Place and South Clermont Drive is closed. Crews are still working to repair that line. And the sheriff's office says if you live in the area, you might be without water for a while. Denver Water is trying to patch the line. They said that's going to take them several hours. Then they'll return at a later point to make permanent repairs. Now to the 2024 Paris Olympics. Team USA hit the hardwood today for their first official basketball game of the event, facing off against someone a little familiar, Nugget superstar Nikola Jokic and Team Serbia. The Joker did his best today. We know he's great. He finished with 20 points for his team, but Team USA was stronger, cruising to a 110-84 win over Serbia. In soccer, the U.S. women's national team also in action against Germany today. 2 superstar players from Colorado took the spotlight. Sophia Smith and Mallory Swanson both scoring for Team USA. They would go on to win their second game of the tournament, 4-1. And the U.S. women's gymnastics team were back on the mat today. The U.S. has qualified first as a team and has finalists in all-around and various individual events. Not 100% good news. Simone Biles is out of one event, the uneven bars. Her score held up for most of the qualifying round, but in the final routine of the day, she got knocked out of the final. Here's the good news. She still qualified for every other possible final because she is the GOAT. This includes team, all-around, vault, beam, and floor. So we're going to get to see Simone. Don't worry. Colorado Springs resident Khloe Diger earned herself another Olympic medal racing at the Summer Games in Paris this weekend. The 7-time World Cup champion was a favorite to win gold in the time trial yesterday, but then crashed. Despite that crash, despite an injury from that crash, Diger still got bronze. And she spoke to 9 News reporter Matt Renew about what it's going to take to race in 2 more events.
You're fresh off of a bronze, but it came after a crash. And it's an achievement to have the bronze, but you wanted more.
For sure. You know, everybody shows up to win a gold medal. You know, that's been my goal since my accident, since Tokyo. You know, I'm really bummed. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and say that it's you know, what I wanted. But you know, this is just God's plan, and I'm just accepting it. And as much as I don't agree with it all the time, that's just, you know, kind of how it goes.
So much of your career lately, I mean, you talked about before Tokyo. Isn't it with you the definition not so much the fall as it is the rise?
I would say so. You know, I think I don't know if it's a blessing, but since I've had so many setbacks in my life, I've learned how to overcome so much. And again, you know, yesterday in the crash, I very easily could have just stopped. I could have given up. I could have just rode easy to the finish line. You know, but I still tried to give everything I could to see where I could finish.
And still 2 races that you plan on being in here in Paris.
Exactly. Yep.
Coming up. So what are you going to do to make sure that you're ready for them?
You know, I'm going to do what my coach says. I'm going to do what US Cycling says. I am going to stay positive. I'm going to say my prayers. I'm going to see my family. I'm going to have some fun. I'm just going to enjoy my time here in Paris and really take in what it means to be an Olympian and what it means to represent the United States.
Love her resilience. Diger still has 2 more races at the Paris Olympics. As mentioned, the next one will be the road race scheduled for August 4th.